very simple and sweet one for us tonight. So let's open it up and see what we've got. Besides that, I hope your day has been well and that you're ready to relax and play some Solitaire. I am already loving this deck. Who doesn't love Venom? Anyway, as we continue to look through these cards, please get yourselves nice and comfy. And we're gonna have a good one tonight. I'll tell you that right now. It's interesting, they all look the same and different at the same time. Let's put away our jokers in the box, close it up, and shuffle up our deck. Alright, show of hands here. How many of you like Spider-Man? Well, that's probably an easy one. It should have been. How many of you think about Spider-Man more than you should? And I am not guilty of that at all. So, let's give this deck 2 more shuffles and begin our first game of the night. Here we go. Clear it up and deal it out. So far, I'm enjoying the purple tone of this deck. Obviously, I like purple. And this deck, that was kind of a nothing statement. Obviously, I like purple. What I was trying to get to is, this deck is obviously I guess in a sense, cheaper deck. As you could tell by the designs, but for being a cheaper deck, it's still not too bad. It has a decent texture so far. Not gonna have much durability, but very good artwork all throughout. I will say, it is a bit tough to see what the cards are. As we have our first ace, and that is one of my favorite looking aces to date. Put the 10 on the jack. We have a queen for that king, and doubling up on the kings. So let's begin our night. And let me know what you think of these cards. I like them a lot, but I could see how they could be a bit straining, is probably the best word. Honestly, that one is cool. I had no idea when I was going to use this deck or introduce it, since there's no new Spider-Man coming out, and it doesn't quite fit the theme of our regular lineups. But the night, well, tonight I should say, I just got back from seeing Spider-Man 3 in theaters, and my goodness, that was a treat. And if you're wondering why or how I was able to watch Spider-Man 3 in theaters, I'm pretty sure it's, I forget the company, but they're having a 100th anniversary special. Columbia, there you go. As it looks like that is the end of our first game. So hold that our second game of the night. Come to think of it, these games might be a little treacherous. Anyway, let's see which cards were left unturned in this first one. I bet you there's a triplet hiding. Even though all signs would point towards no. Double twos, double nines, there it is, triple twos. Double queens. And double aces with triple nines, so triple nines and twos begin our night. Anyway, so Columbia Pictures is having a 100th anniversary special, so they are screening some of their more popular movies in theaters, streaming. Wow. Projecting some of their more popular movies on the silver screen, and it is a blast. Seeing Spider-Man 3 in theaters took me back to 15 plus years ago. It was so nice. In some movies that you see on Blu-ray or streaming services, or even TV, such as Spider-Man 3, the TV or watching it on TV just doesn't do it justice. And watching it in theaters, all the little goofy CGI things go unnoticed, and it creates such a more captivating experience. Whoa, good thing I did not see it. That would have been a little brain fart. And I don't care what you say, but the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man. Now feel free to let me hear it below, but let me make my argument. Here we go. So, inherently, by nature, comics are meant to be a little goofy and fun. And one of the worst things something can do is take itself too seriously. Wrong 6. And we have a jack for that queen. And a 6 for that 7. Alright. So, at least with what I grew up with the 1980s Superman and all of that fun stuff where superhero movies were they definitely weren't as popular as they are nowadays, and they were much far in between a new superhero movie. So something like Spider-Man, one of the popular ones, definitely got a lot of traction. So why I think the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is the better one is that it plays with the comic book version of Spider-Man quite a bit. It stays, I guess in a sense, more true to what Stan Lee had as his original character. Yet at the same time not taking itself too seriously. As if you watch through the movies, you can clearly tell there are points where Tobey Maguire's goofy face was just kind of left in comedically, and it makes it more enjoyable. It's as if they knew it was something to kind of take half-heartedly, but still, in the end, take, for the most part, seriously. Let's see. Surprisingly, we have triple sevens, and we continue, I believe. Nope. That 3 and now that 10 and that ace, third play. Each movie has its own little quirks of, it's like it's a movie, obviously, but at the same time, you kind of get caught in the world a bit easier with the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, it wasn't as easy to watch the movie, in my opinion. I felt a bit strained at points as we receive our first fat stack of the night. And that is our third play from our hand. Another 2. I didn't mind the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, but it just didn't resonate as much as the Tobey Maguire. It seemed much more serious, unnecessarily, as if it were trying to chase the coattails of the Maguire Spider-Man. Let's see. Nope. While watching The Amazing Spider-Man, I guess is what it's called, it felt like a 2-hour movie. When watching the older Spider-Man movies, as we have our second fat stack, they kind of went by too quickly, and there were lots of missing pieces in the movie itself that led to more mystery and excitement, to where, specifically in the Tom Holland Spider-Man, I even know what it's called, honestly, as that's the end of game number 2, as there's nowhere for that 10 of hearts, or 5 of spades. Can't do anything with that. No 2 to build on there, so on to game number 3. Anyway, with the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, and just the Avengers in general, that Marvel era, there isn't as much mystery left in a movie. It's just straightforward. A happened because of B, and C happened because of A and C, or D. Anyway, I think you get the point I'm trying to say. It's as if they dumb it down for the audience to spoon-feed information, and that takes out a little bit of the fun. I'm a nerd at heart, even though it may not look like it. Well, it's like you know yet anyway. But let's say Star Wars, for example. Imagine if Star Wars were to explain why there is a Luke Skywalker. Well, they kind of do. Or why there is an Anakin. They really don't explicitly say how much Anakin comes to exist, but they keep it very vague, leaving lots of mystery behind it, and it creates room for theories and ways to get involved with the movie, or in this case, universe. And I think we're going back to Star Wars. Of course, we're using a Spider-Man / Venom deck, and we're talking about Star Wars. The new Disney shows are fun, but the ones where they fill in the missing pieces aren't completely necessary. Like they could have made the Obi-Wan series just an hour and a half special and left out a whole bunch of information. But now knowing certain things, it seems kind of cheesy and not as fun, I guess, rewatching. And that's how I feel with the newer Spider-Man movies, or just Marvel movies in general. Except Venom. Venom had a little bit more of at least the first one, an older Spider-Man meets Batman type of feel. Definitely has its quirks and cheesy moments, but that does not take away from the story and the entertainment along with it. Once again, this is just an opinion. Like it or hate it. We all have one. Everyone has their thoughts on another, especially with something as close as Spider-Man. But if you just go back and watch them all on your own, I think nostalgia might play a big part in it as well. I don't know. Let me know your favorite Spider-Man if you didn't already. That's gonna be a fun one. I felt like I had such a poor argument for my Spider-Man that I prefer. As surprisingly, we are making quite a bit of traction with triple eights on the field. Yeah, come to think of it, it was a very poor argument. But anyway, such a nice movie. I remember seeing Venom for the first time, and it was just one of the coolest concepts and visuals I've seen. Something I appreciate with the older Spider-Man is that it has aspects of reality, obviously, anything good should, that are then tinkered with the imagination to create a new world or threat or whatever it may be. And that's something, as a viewer, I really enjoy. When a movie just doesn't insult you by saying, let's say, because that's how it is, type of thing. That's why I just despise the newer Marvel movies. I went a long way with my use of dislike in this video for those. But anyway, like Venom, I believe is a symbiote type creature, which is a creature that is a parasitic being that latches onto its host, or that's what it's supposed to be in the movie. And those are a real thing in reality that I think a fair amount of us have heard of, and you've probably even seen videos of online or social media. And it can be a very, I guess, spooky concept when you really think about it. But when it's used to amplify the characteristics of a human's body and their psychological characteristics, it does just kind of go along on its own little tangent and makes its own reality. So it plants a seed of probability and then goes into science fiction. That's probably why I'm a huge fan of zombie movies. They always start with some government experiment concocted in a lab to make the ultimate soldier that cannot be killed. As it looks like we might be at the end of this game, so it's time for a double check, I believe. Let's do this. Anyway, zombie movies are pretty cool, and there's that aspect of probability, and then when you really think about it, oh, no way, double 10, king 8, on to game 4, with no 2 to place there. Yeah. And it's just a fun concept. I don't know why I enjoy it so much. Do you ever think about why you like the things you do? Or do you just prefer to just enjoy what you like and not really think about it? I think either is good, honestly. For Venom, just the idea of a black parasite that just encapsulates any being that it attaches to, specifically in the Marvel Universe, humans, and it's able to completely enhance and amplify their potential to just be pretty much a destructive monster, where it has the real control in your body, and in a sense releases a carnivoristic habit within. I don't know. It's pretty freaking cool to me. as we go to game number 4. So first thing first, let's go with the pros. I like the back design art. Very appealing, very satisfying. The purple border is a plus. It fits the tone. The cover art is just amazing in every regard, as they just keep expanding, and I don't think one image is recycled throughout the entire deck. What else? The texture surprisingly isn't bad for a cheaper deck. It has a little bit of ridges in the card, which provides decent control. Alright, now let's head to the cons. So obviously, this deck is flimsy. It is not too well put together. Definitely won't last too long if you play with it more than 10 times. The art designs, as great as they may be, are almost, well, they're not too nullified when upside down. So I guess that kind of works out. On second thought, the back design is not the same, so once you flip it upside down, you've got Wonev, or Wonin. What else? So pretty good pros, but also pretty big cons. And I think this will land this deck at a 6.5. And I took out my bias towards it because I really like Venom. And I think that's fair. Alright. And by the way, if any of you have any fun little Venom facts or trivia that you know, please let me know. I'm always down to learn a little bit more lore and let the fantasy continue. It's fun to be a bit whimsical sometimes. Gosh, I sound like such a weirdo when I think about it. It's fun to be whimsical. What's wrong with me? Anyway, that is a decent first time through, I believe. A 3 of spades, 4 of clubs, 9 of clubs, and 3 of hearts. Alright, double sixes, double nines, we need a king, and we might do fine. Fat stack number 3. Whoa. Well, here's another good question. Who is your favorite Spider-Man villain? Oh, dang it. That's the end of game number 4. As there's nowhere for that 7. 7, of course, or 6. We could build up the 2, 3, but wait a second. 2, 3, but the 4 of clubs keeps us at bay. So we move on to our final game of the night. What am I doing? Going out of order. But you know what? I think we still have a good chance. Let's see the cards left unturned this time around. I think when I was younger, Dr. Octopus was one of my favorite villains. its reality of having a chip, pretty much a neural chip connected to the back of your spine, creating artificial limbs as tools, extended tools to oneself. That's pretty cool, but again, in real life, not so cool, for the most part. The Green Goblin's just rich, for the most part. Who else was there? The Sandman. Again, they use physics, in a sense, where the sand particles break down his DNA structure and supposedly crystallize the inside out through the tiny micro gaps within the skin. It leaks into his DNA composition, so that's a little more loose in my opinion, but still. If the original Spider-Man has to be Venom, no, Dr. Octopus. We didn't get enough Venom, in my opinion, to make that fair. In the newer Spider-Man movies, I don't have anything for you. Honestly, I'm expecting a couple people to explain why they think the Marvel Spider-Man's the best, or the Andrew Garfield. And honestly, I'm all ears. As that's it, we don't have anything to go besides that ace. This might be a quick last game. Nope. 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 Barely one play. I knew something was very funky with our starting cards, and thankfully it has yielded some plays, but I don't think enough, as once again we have triple eights. So let's do a thorough check, as there's nowhere for the 3 of hearts, King of spades, 3 of spades, 10 of spades, 4 of diamonds, King of clubs, 8 of spades or King of diamonds, so triple kings, double threes, 4, 8, 10. And that's it for tonight. Dang, a tough one. Final question. What old movie from your childhood or younger self would you like to see in theaters again? Ooh, honestly, besides Spider-Man and Star Wars, I think the second Harry Potter movie would be one of the cool ones. The one with the giant spider. That would be pretty intense, as we had just an awful field left unturned. And with that, my friend, we are another episode closer to 1,000. Just footsteps away from our 600 special. And with all of that being said, I hope you have yourself a relaxing remainder of your night. Many sweet dreams, and until we meet again, stay safe and eat your fruits and vegetables.